Yeah, we like to make our lives as difficult as possible. So when we launched the company, to the public in December 2021,
Yeah.
we launched globally immediately.
Hi everyone, my name is Miguel Magalhães and I'm the head of content and partnerships at the Next Big Idea. And now we'll be having one more conversation in the series of talks we've been having with the support of the EIF. And with me, I have Anton Wass, the founder of Stark Future, an electric motorcycle company. Anton, I need to firstly ask you, why does a Swedish guy start an electric motorcycle company in Barcelona, Spain?
Yeah, that's a great question. The thing is that if you want to build the best motorcycles in the world, you
Yeah.
should be where people are already doing that, which is in Barcelona.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I decided to create a company there, and yeah, it's been good.
And how did the idea arise? So, based on your experience, did you have any previous experience in the mobility sector? Was it something that, based on a project you had previously had, you had the idea to create this company? What was kind of the inception of creating this sort of business?
Yeah, I was part of building up another company before in the motorcycle industry. So I've been in the industry since I was 16, and after 12 years of building that company up, where we eventually sold it, I felt it was time to do something new, and I wanted to create something much bigger, and I wanted to work with sustainability. And I couldn't stop dreaming about what should be possible to do with electric motorcycles, and it just didn't seem that anyone was doing it. So then I thought, okay, then we have to do it.
And
So here we are.
what were kind of the main steps? Because when you hear about mobility, you more often hear about electric cars than you hear about electric motorcycles. And so, how has it been? The company was founded in 2020. So, how has it been the period of firstly designing a motorcycle that everyone wants to ride it and doesn't feel any difference from the usual ones, and then moving on to getting that motorcycle to your first customers over this period?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And if you look at the car industry, the car industry led the way for EV clearly. With Tesla being started 20 years ago, and motorcycles are still many years behind in that evolution. But the fact is that 60 million motorcycles are sold every year today, and in 10 or 20 years from now, those will all be electric. So we are just in the beginning of that revolution, and we developed a bike where the goal was that we need to develop an electric motorcycle that is better in every single way than the best gas bike. Otherwise, people won't change.
Yeah.
So we have to make a better product, and I think we achieved that, which is why we're now having a really strong commercial traction, and this year delivering many thousands of bikes. And yeah, I think we are becoming the world's biggest electric motorcycle manufacturer. Actually, if you exclude scooters, which is the category where we've had more adoption to EV
Yeah.
so far. I think the scooter category has a very high level of competitiveness, but the other categories doesn't, and we are focused more on the performance categories, so to speak.
And how do you communicate those advantages to a public, to a potential pool of users that are already very, because motorcycles are a big thing in any market that you go to. You just need to communicate what can be the benefits due to, in comparison to the normal motorcycles that people are used to. And so, what are some of the things that you have been doing in order to say, hey guys, I have this really great model here, you should try this one instead of the ones that you are used to?
And I think it's basically the fact is that the truth always wins, right? So if we manage to do a product that's better in a category of products where the product really matters, it's not a T-shirt, it's super technical products, so you really feel the difference if it is better. And I think we have achieved this, so we have more power, it's easier to ride, people are faster on it, and then word of mouth will spread the product organically. So I mean, our marketing strategy is do something that's so interesting that it spreads organically, and that relates both to the product, that we're focused on the product, this is really the core of the company, but also our content. So when we do marketing campaigns, we don't buy ads, but we try to make videos that are so exciting that it spreads organically, and that's a good way to inspire people to try it.
Yeah. And in what markets are you already? Because you started out in Spain, I imagine that part of your roadmap is growing and selling the motorcycles in other markets. What kind has been that process, and what in the end influences your choice of markets? It's something similar to Spain, it's something where the mobility sector is more developed. What kind of factors you take into consideration?
Yeah, we like to make our lives as difficult as possible. So when we launched the company, to the public in December 2021,
Yeah.
we launched globally immediately. So we had within a few months orders in more than 70 countries, and
Wow.
so this year we are delivering to 70 countries globally, which makes things extremely complicated. But we didn't really want to start in one country and scale up because let's let's just grow everywhere. There's no reason to start in Spain because we're in Spain. We might as well sell in US or in Canada, which we are doing today. And the biggest market is US. It's representing roughly half our sales, and Australia is a big market. Europe as a whole is big. Spain is actually one of our smallest markets, unfortunately. So it's less than 1% of our sales, but I guess it's very good for the Spanish economy, where we produce locally and we export everything.
In September, you already have like 85 million in raising funding, as you told me previously. And just in September, you announced that you raised the venture debt round with the European Investment Bank. What can you tell me about that round and kind of the relationship that you built with such an important player in the European context?
Yeah, so we were lucky enough to be introduced to very good contact at EIB, and we had first discussions and felt quite early on that these are people that we want to work with, and the benefits of venture debt is obviously that there's less dilution, obviously, and EIB has very good terms with a long-term loan with bullet repayments. It doesn't impact cash flow. So in the stage that we are right now, growing super fast, not yet continuously profitable. I believe it is the cheapest financing that we can have. Of course, you need to have the right balance between equity and loans, but in our case, we did have much more equity in the past, and this was probably good timing to bring in more lending at the right terms, and we're happy with this, and I think it will help us continue to grow the company. We're investing very heavily in developing new platforms and new models. I mean, we're not done; we have only started, so this is what this cash will be used for.
And what would you say as a founder? What are the main differences in raising a venture debt round and raising a normal equity round? Was there any difference?
Yeah, I mean there is a big difference for sure. I mean, equity. In our case, we haven't worked with VCs, so we have raised the equity from mostly strategic people and companies. So we have found people and companies that we want to work with, and we have spoken to them specifically and then agreed that they should invest because it makes sense for both companies. So I can't really speak to how it is with VC. We have had VC conversations, and what I see there is they're quite aggressive with terms. They want to have full control of your company, and even if they're majority owner, they might want to have more control than anyone else. And I don't think this is the healthiest for your business. I believe the best is if the company that is running the business are the ones in control. And we have been allowed to maintain this with the structure that we have, with balance between strategic equity and venture debt from both Santander, but now EIB, which I think both really great partners to work with.
Yeah, and now that you have a partner such as IAB, how do you think they can contribute, and the partnership that you have can not only help you grow in Europe, of course, but also with all the other markets that you are already serving?
Yes, I mean EIB, it doesn't feel like a traditional bank from the aspect that there is a very strong interest to help build European companies in Europe, and so we get support in terms of how can we grow the business, can we be introduced to some specific people and companies that can help us with various things that perhaps doesn't help the lending or the loan per se, but it helps our business to grow, and they have been very willing to help us, and we are super happy with that support.
And looking into the future and medium term, what are things that you can reveal that Stark Future will be looking up to? New models, new markets that you want to achieve? What can you tell us?
Next year we are launching our first street legal model, so this is a huge next step, and this will greatly expand our market, of course, and we're working on some new really interesting technology that we think will revolutionize not only the motorcycle industry but EV industry as a whole. We are extremely focused on this, and we have built up a team of some of the best engineers in the world, so we have many interesting things to reveal in the next few years ahead.
Anton, thank you very much for spending these minutes with me.